first and foremost, let's all pick the world's most inappropriate emoji to represent us during this interview. I love that look of terror. Does that mean you're a screamy face?
Yeah, okay. I'll take that. Screamy face.
Okay, screamy face.
Peach? I was gonna say it too. Yeah. Peach?
A peach. I want to switch mine to corn.
Got
love
it.
that.
Love
I was
corn.
going to ask if they have a pickle emoji.
Sort of the female version of an eggplant. Yeah.
This is actually a great question. Do they have a pickle emoji?
Do they have a pickle emoji? 'Cause
No.
I feel like I'm a pickle.
I'm gonna say no, but I mean, you could just go like adjacent.
I'm going to be a
I don't know
cactus.
if there was a pickle.
Cactus.
Yeah.
We got the peach bench.
Yeah.
And we've got corn.
These are highly inappropriate emojis.
I'm so offended.
And I actually am going to take an emoji that I didn't feel was inappropriate, and I'm going to make it inappropriate, which is the bicep.
Oh, wow.
Because maybe I'm good with my hands,
Oh!
right?
I
Like
see.
put some muscle into it, and like let's just launch into this. So, was there anything, any single part of the movie that made you blush? And I want everybody to think on this one. Like, was there anything where you were like, "Ooh, wow, that is a little uncomfortable for me as a person"? Because I mean, that's kind of the great thing about the movie. It's very relatable, but also a little, ooh.
Clutching your pearls.
Did you blush?
Well, I have definitely a spot where, when shooting it, where we were shooting you guys in the limo at the same time we were shooting a fake ball sack.
Oh.
And so I was watching you guys in the monitor, and then over here was like a second unit doing like where the balls were just, and they'd ask me, they're like, "Are you okay with it?" And I remember being like,
While we were
"Oh
vomiting?
my God." Yeah, and then I turned away. I think I said to someone, I was like, "I went to college. I went to college, and I'm doing this." Vomit balls.
That Gary walking around.
Vomit balls,
Gary
vomit
walking
balls,
around with his, and he
Yeah.
didn't like care to cover up in between takes,
I
right?
mean, he was
it was his,
respectful, but
those
he
were his,
was
that was
okay being, yeah.
And you had a prosthetic one for him, but he didn't want to
He
wear
didn't
it.
need it.
God bless him.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's ballsy.
It is.
That's
Indeed.
ballsy.
God, I love this movie. Yes.
And I will say he's seen those scenes, Gary has, and he was laughing throughout the whole thing. He was not embarrassed at all. And like I'm standing looking at him next to him.
Incredible. I mean, I've seen the movie. He should be nothing but proud. That's the thing. I actually love this moment where your character, Geraldine, hands over coconut lube, like a coconut, hands over coconut oil.
Yeah.
As a sacred moment. It's like you're obviously very educated. It's like a life hack that I love.
Yeah.
But I also was like, I tried to think on like misconceptions or like weird hacks that I had before I kind of was an older person and more intelligent. Is there anything that comes to mind that you can think of, Leslie, that where you were like, oh, I thought this before, but I definitely do not think it now? Anything about sex or, you know,
About sex?
naked co-stars? I don't know, anything.
Naked co-stars?
Like you can't get pregnant in water or something.
You can't get pregnant in water.
This is just what popped into my head. I used to think that there were chocolate chips, that those little brown things in Doritos were chocolate chips. I know that's not like a sexy thing, but that's what came to mind.
Like the burnt marks.
Yeah, my brother told me that. He's like, those are chocolate chips, and I believed it until till I was really old. Like not that long ago.
Like last month.
Chocolate chips.
Like they really cover the flavor. I never really taste the chocolate.
Wow, it's so subtle. It's really like, thank you, Doritos Corporation, for just giving us these layers of flavor. So incredible.
Sweet and salty.
Yeah.
One of the scenes that really stands out to me that I sort of like can't weirdly stop thinking about is just John Cena butt chugging. And it like, everybody goes, oh, uh-huh. So can you talk a little bit about like shooting that? Because I mean, at one point, God bless you, he's pantsless, and I feel like
His very toned legs, like
his
extremely toned.
wildly toned legs that made me stop in my
haunches.
theater and go,
Yes,
his haunches,
Yeah.
truly. So like, what was real? What's movie magic?
Yeah.
Well, I was right there, and I was trying to be respectful, like trying to cover him up in between takes, and he's like, "It's fine." Like he didn't care that there were like hundreds of extras behind him, you know, looking up there. But the thing is with him is usually like a normal butt has like your butt, like the you know, is closer to the outside.
Okay.
But with him, like the skin of the butt, but with him, he has so much muscle that whatever's inside is like so covered that you can't, even if he's bent all the way over, you still wouldn't be able to see up in there. You would just see like 2 chunks of muscle.
Wow.
That's so impressive.
You have given me something to think about when I'm alone at night. Yes. That's what it looked like to me.
Did I
He did not
describe
have
that
a
well
tube
enough?
Yes.
up his butt, just for the record. He didn't actually
Oh, no,
do
I put it up
anything.
there.
Oh, then that's news. They were improvised that kind of. I didn't know that was happening. You really did on
wanted
one.
that extra.
It was very authentic.
All right, Gideon, let's talk about your character and tell everybody like how this character is super unique and possibly like you in real life.
Well, I really connected to Sam because of her relationship with her dad. Kind of really rang true to my relationship with my father. Just like, you know, absentee dad kind of shows up at a random time and expects everything to be all right. But I mean, Sam's great. I don't know if I'm allowed to say. Am I allowed?
I know, I don't know either, so let's not spoil anything
yeah,
for
let's not
people
spoil
watching,
anything. But I mean, she's special. She's a regular high school girl trying to figure herself out, and she's scared to grow up, and she's scared to lose her friends, and you know, she ends up figuring it out, and it's empowering.
you mentioned like, you know, Ike Barinholtz plays your dad in the movie and like shows up with like flares. I'm pretty sure you should never hold those in real life.
And you shouldn't throw them.
And and I was like, oh yeah, parents are great. Like, have you guys ever had a moment with your parents that was like, oh Jesus, that is noteworthy?
Yeah. Lots.
What was it?
I mean, like, there's so many. I can't.
I remember at like my prom, but it was like 10th grade prom, so I was like a little more awkward and like easily embarrassed. And my dad came and he did the robot in front of everyone, and I was like, "How dare you?" And I was pretty embarrassed, but then quickly was like, "It's cooler if I act not embarrassed."
Exactly, yes. That's like life lesson, totally. But much more importantly, how was his robot?
It's not good. It's not good.
Bad robot's even worse.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It wasn't great.
My dad, when I was 16, about to turn 16 or whatever, I was getting my driver's license. I was taking the test, and he was so worried that I was gonna fail. And I had been driving because I'm a dirtbag who grew up in the country since I was like 13 or whatever. I don't know if you knew that, but I had been driving for a long time. But when I came back, I passed, and when I walked in, my dad had the entire place stand up and applaud for me passing the test or whatever. And then everybody behind the counter was all applauding or whatever. It was funny, yeah. But only because he thought I was gonna fail. He was so shocked. He was like, oh, she did it.
Truly amazing.
Yeah.
My mom would.
Oh, go ahead, please.
My mom in elementary school had the nickname F-Mom because she had a corduroy like blazer jacket, and on the back of it it said "fuck you," and she'd walk into the school, and it was like really cool. But like, so everybody at school would be like, "Oh, it's F-Mom," and like she'd host the events, and she'd always drop F-bombs, and that was pretty embarrassing for me.
So proud of
I'd be like, "What does F-Mom mean?" They'd be like, "We can't tell you."
So you just know that it's emblazoned on your mother's jacket.
Yeah, I'd be like, "Yeah, I got it when I was older."
So I only know your mom through like TV and stuff, and I'm like, that's how I want her to be. Like, I'm super pumped that like that's a real life story, because I'm like, fuck yeah, Pamela.
Yeah, yeah, she's very true to herself.
Dope. What about you?
Stories?
Parents.
I'm like so far on the other side that I can't even, like being a parent, I'm doing the weird things. So I can't even remember what my parents did. I know that I do those embarrassing things, the robot, those things like all day long.